Hello, fragrant friend. Welcome back to my world of fragrance. Today I'm talking about popular or commercial fragrances that I used to wear. I often talk about luxury fragrances on this channel and exclusive perfumes that are maybe a little bit harder to find, but it hasn't always been this way for me in my fragrance journey. It has definitely been a journey. Today's video is kindly sponsored by Ana Luisa Jewelry, my go-to jewelry brand for affordable jewelry. I wear their stuff every day, guys. Like these hoop earrings I wear all the time. They're super comfortable and I've gotten some more pieces from them as well recently. Most of their stuff is 14 karat gold plated or sterling silver, which is great because it just won't, turn green all of a sudden. I love the fact that they have both elegant, timeless pieces and they also have more edgy pieces. So this cuff that I also wear, I don't actually have a piercing here, but it, looks quite cool with this chunky cuff over here. I also recently got this necklace, which has a pendant that is, I think it's jade. It does look like jade anyways, but I think it's so cool and kind of fits that yogi zen type of look. So I just love their stuff, and if you're interested in checking them out, then I will leave a link below. They currently have their annual largest sale going on, which is 20% off everything. So definitely check that out if you are on the market for some nice jewelry for yourself or as for gifts, and I will have all of the information down in the description box. So reeling back into the beginning of my fragrance journey, I was pretty much, I was a teenager when I started getting interested in perfumes and purchasing perfumes for myself. And the first popular fragrance that I used to wear, and this is not even in chronological order, by the way, but it was Narciso Rodriguez for her EDP, the pink bottle, the powdery version, and this. I just remember that back then, I used to read a lot of magazines and read editors' stories about what beauty products they used. And I remember just loving reading what kind of perfumes different women used that I looked up to. So when the blog Into the Gloss came out, that was huge for me. I just loved reading, the makeup tips and stuff. I kind of would breeze through, and then I would look for whenever somebody mentioned what perfume that they wear. So I read in this magazine one day that one of these cool chic editors wore Narciso Rodriguez for her, and this was around the launch of this perfume. So not very many people wore this perfume. Nobody in the small town that I lived in, that's for sure. And so the next time I went to a big fancy department store, I made sure to run straight to the counter and smell Narciso Rodriguez for her. And I sprayed it all over my scarf, and I went home, and a couple of hours later, I had this sensual, musky, soft, powdery, fluffy scent coming up from my scarf. And I realized that it was the fragrance that I had tried, and I was just sold. And I made sure to save up all of my pocket money from my job, my side hustle in high school, so that I could afford one of these bottles, and I went in and bought one, and I really cherish this fragrance. It is so popular nowadays. There are flankers of it, there are dupes of it, there are clones of it, but back then, like I said, nobody wore this fragrance. So when I first smelled it, I was really just wowed by it. And I still love this perfume to this day, even though I smell it all over the place. I do think that it is a really great perfume by one of my favorite perfumers, Oxygène. The next popular fragrance that I used to wear is I Love Love by Moschino. And a lot of these fragrances that I used to wear were marked for her, and this was before I knew that this was just a label that was put onto the perfumes to make me buy them, and it worked, So lots of for hers in this list, but I Love Love was a musky grapefruit. At least that's how it smelled like on me. I smelled like a musky grapefruit, and that's what I wanted. It was fairly mass appealing. It got me, compliments. It smelled fresh and clean. And this is a fragrance that I still find to be quite a good, affordable fragrance. It seems to work differently depending on your chemistry, but on me, it smelled really great. So yeah, this is one that I still recommend to this day. The next fragrance that I used to wear was Lolita Lempicka, the original, the apple in the gothic looking type of bottle. And the packaging and the reviews for this, I mean, this was still a time when I was doing lots of blind buys because I didn't have access to a lot of things. The reviews made it seem very gothic. And in reality, this was a very sugary anise or licorice style fragrance. And it was also still, you know, a little bit light. Like it was one that you could wear on a daily basis. At least the one that I got, maybe it was reformulation, maybe the original was denser. I'm not sure. It just wasn't what I was looking for. At this point, I was looking for more fragrances that were weighty and, you know, had that cloak-like feel. I wanted something that was a little bit more mysterious. And so I was like trying to find the mysterious perfumes amongst the popular commercial fragrances, and Lolita Lempicka, that was one of them that I tried. The next fragrance that I used to wear is Oxygène by Lanvin. This one comes in this blue, very square bottle. I find it to be quite a genderless fragrance. And this was at a time when I was searching online again through reviews for a milky fragrance. My obsession with milky fragrances has existed since the beginning of this fragrance journey. And so I was looking for like keyword milky, which fragrances are milky, and I ended up getting this one because it was nice and affordable. So Oxygène was not exactly what I had expected. When I was thinking milky, I thought something that was a little bit, you know, comforting and sweet and like real milk. But Oxygène is a lot more transparent. It ended up being more of a fresh scent, a nice after the shower scent, and I didn't get a lot of milk from it. Not a realistic milk anyway. So still an interesting fragrance. I would still recommend trying it if it sounds like it could be interesting to you. But yeah, Oxygène, that was a fun one to try. The next popular fragrance that I used to wear is Daisy by Marc Jacobs. The #1 best-selling fragrance for women in the UK, probably in Europe, in the US as well. Like it really is a popular fragrance. But the thing is, you don't really smell this out and about. I don't anyways. I feel like it still is a fragrance that sticks to the wearer. And because it is so mass appealing and versatile as well, it kind of just blends in, you know. This is a fragrance that I originally gifted to my other sister, Sabrina, and she did not like it. And so I kept it for myself, or I took it back. That's what I do with gifts that my sisters don't want. And I ended up wearing this fragrance. And my, oh my, this fragrance brought the boys to the yard. Like, I don't know what it is, but teenage boys really enjoyed this fragrance on me. It smells quite fresh and out of showery. It smells quite shampoo-y. So it's a white floral that has a little bit of strawberry in it as well. So to me, it smells like a happy girl. It just smells like a happy young girl, and it suits a host of ages really. But I wore it in my teenage years and I loved it back then. And I liked that it wasn't, you know, overly sweet. It still is sweet in a playful kind of juvenile way, but it's lightweight, okay? I'm not trying to bash Daisy. So the next fragrance that I used to wear is Prada Candy L'Eau. So I had always wanted to be able to wear Prada Candy because I really loved the ad campaigns for it. It sounded so amazing, this gooey caramel fudge type scent. But alas, it was just too dense and too sweet for me, so I could not pull it off. So I kind of found a middle ground with Candy L'Eau, and this one is, even though it has that caramel accord in it, it also smells clean and a little bit musky. So it was one that I could easily pull off. I think anyone could pull off this one. It was a nice gateway to being a gourmand. And so I really enjoyed this one. It did not ever last very long on me, and I liked that about it because I have a hard time, you know, wearing gourmands for long periods of time. So it would last a few hours and I would wear this, spray it on, get this happy fix of this caramel air, and I just really loved it. So this one was a fun one to have as well, Prada Candy L'Eau. The next fragrance that I used to have is Bulgari Black, the one that looks like a tire, and it actually smells like tires as well. It's quite an obscure fragrance considering it comes from a commercial brand, and it was also quite revolutionary at the time that the fragrance came out. I have a review of it. I will put it somewhere over here, and this was, you know, when I was getting rid of the fragrance, I explained why. And the reason was I couldn't smell it on myself. It pretty much disappeared after an hour, and you know, I would have to go super close to smell it. And even when I did that, I somehow went anosmic to the scent, and that can sometimes happen. So this is a pretty cool fragrance. It smells like rubber, and it smells like black tires that have been spinning and spinning and spinning. And then you have this vanillic haze coming out of the tires. So it has that combination of the black rubber and then this vanilla. So it's interesting, but it's also comforting at the same time. And this one, I'm not sure if it's that easy to get a hold of anymore, but it is pretty affordable as well if you can get your hands on it. But yeah, this was a cool one from Bulgari. The next popular fragrance that I used to wear is Lampe Retreats by D&G, Dolce & Gabbana. So this one is quite popular again today. It is affordable. I think when this line was first released, it was meant to be some sort of limited edition, but you can always find this one fragrance from that exclusive D&G line that they did with the different colored bottles everywhere because it is very popular. So this one reminds me of being a young college student and traveling to Italy in the summer, being on like a little cute island where I was out on the beach, and I would bring this fragrance with me to the beach. I was still bougie even though I was a student. So I would bring this perfume and I would spray it on myself after a day at the beach when I had been sweaty, and it did the trick because it was this juicy watermelon that would come out, sweet kiwi and rhubarb, and it was just refreshing and very nice and made me feel girly as well at the same time. And I remember spraying this on right before we took this boat away from this island, and the entire boat just smelled of Lampe Retreats. I won't say reeked because it was quite a pleasant scent, I thought. But that was when I realized that maybe less is more because I had just overdone it. The next popular fragrance that I used to wear is, I don't think you'll believe it, guys. It is Britney Spears' Believe. The green bottle, the kind of matching her theme of her being up in the airplane, toxic. And the reason why I bought this fragrance, it was also a blind buy, was because I had read in the reviews that somebody had this guy like chase her down the hallway or whatever and say that she smelled amazing. Like, yeah, I've been there too, okay? But I was a teenager. I wasn't like 25 plus, still trying to please other people. I digress. So Britney Spears' Believe caught my attention as well because it has the guava note in it. And I love guava. I love the guava juice. It's a tropical fruit that tastes so sweet and so juicy. And I wanted to try that in perfume form. And this fragrance is definitely a fruit patchouli if there ever was one. It is basically that guava and muskiness and patchouli. But I don't know, it just didn't work out for me. I feel like it turned too sweet on me, and there are lots of people that still sort of go crazy for this one. I think the lovers of this perfume, so don't be put off by that. If you're looking for a guava scent that's affordable, this could be your jam, so definitely try it out. Britney Spears' Believe. The next fragrance that I used to wear is White Patchouli by Tom Ford. Now, I don't talk much about this brand because I prefer to support other brands that are independent, but White Patchouli was probably my gateway into luxury perfumes. It was my first more expensive perfume, and it was a blind buy as well, but I was having a patchouli moment in the beginning of my fragrance journey. So, you know, this was a great match for me. And I like the fact that this was like bohemian but clean, and it was also fairly unisex smelling for me. It smelled sort of manly to me, and I really like that because it kind of pulled me out of my usual norm. And ever since buying this fragrance and wearing it, I opened my eyes to not caring so much about labels and actually being proud about liking fragrances that maybe said for men on them. So this one was an important one in my fragrance journey. White Patchouli. Really enjoyed it. I don't have it anymore, but yeah, I still like it. The next fragrance that I used to wear is Casmir by Chopard. This fragrance is another great affordable fragrance actually. This was a very vanillic, ambery, dense fragrance, very sweet, and then poured onto some candied apricots and sprinkled a little bit with some cinnamon. So this was a style when it first came out that wasn't super popular. So Casmia was, you know, quite an interesting release at the time. And there have been, you know, luxury brands that have been doing similar things since and charging a lot more for it. But hey ho, that's the market in every field, I guess. But yeah, this one was very pleasurable, and I would get, mostly women would really enjoy this fragrance on me when I would wear it. I had only 30 ml of it, and when I was done with it, I was done, like no more. But it really is a nice vanillic, warm, ambery fragrance if you are looking for something like that in the affordable price range. Now, the last fragrance that I'm going to talk about today is Chloé EDP. And I also like the EDT, but I used to wear Chloé EDP. That used to be a signature of mine for a few years. And this is another super duper popular fragrance for women. It's a clean, fresh rose with lily of the valley. It smells, you know, it smells a little bit girly, a little bit shampoo-y as well. It smells like expensive soap. I smell this one all the time. The sillage is quite strong, I feel, or otherwise people are just drenching themselves in it, because I smell this all the time on the streets. And one of my good friends wears this one as well. But yeah, this was just a very pretty, cloudy fragrance that I enjoyed wearing at the time. I also found that it was super versatile, so I could just easily wear it with, you know, for all occasions, with every outfit and all of that. So yeah, Chloé EDP. So there you have it, 12 popular fragrances that I used to wear and that for the most part still enjoy and still like, but just don't wear them. And I hope that you enjoyed today's video. Please remember to check out Ana Luisa if you are interested in some new jewelry. I will have all of the information down in my description box, and I will see you in my next video. Ciao.